wow, you know, you put a hat on and it's just you're just like mask and hat.
Yeah.
I don't even
It's
know
just
what we
like-
look like.
Yeah.
This is going to be interesting to see this back. This is going to be interesting.
Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Steve. Welcome to Primarily Critical of Movies at an After Party. This would be it.
If you have not seen this film, we suggest that you do so before listening any further.
Because we got spoilers, trivia, and opinions like crazy, and we can't wait to share them.
Yeah, good, bad, new, old, weird, or gross.
We pass judgment on them all.
Today! If you want to be good at something, you gotta sell out.
What? Or make a deal with the devil.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right.
You know, sell your soul. My name is Steve. I'm here with
John
and
Phil.
today we're covering Crossroads, quarantine style.
Yeah,
Mhm.
baby. We're back.
We're back. It's like we never left.
Yeah.
Crossroads is the 1986 Ralph Macchio classic.
Classic. Wow.
It's pretty classic.
It's
Is it?
classy.
I remember.
This is the first time I saw it.
Really?
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 Oh,
yeah.
Oh. Hey,
Wow.
did you love it? Did you like it?
No, I thought it was stupid.
Oh.
No, okay, no, I'm just kidding.
No, what did you think? Tell me.
well-
Never seen it. It's like people that claim to have not seen Star Wars. To
Okay.
me,
I would have loved this movie. I really, watching this, I thought, man, I wish I'd seen this when I was young. Because I would have loved, because I was learning guitar, and it would have inspired me that much more.
That's why it makes me wonder why you missed this movie.
It's just, you know, I don't know.
I'm
You
disappointed.
can't see all of them.
I'm
You can't see all of
disappointed.
them.
The criticisms I have for this movie, though, is that I think Ralph, what's it, Macho or Machio?
Ralph Macchio.
Ralph
Machio.
Macchio, the
Okay,
Karate
Ralph-
Kid.
Karate Kid. Yeah.
Karate Kid.
I don't
Karate
think
Kid.
I don't think he was good for the role.
Wow.
I think if you'd used from that era, I would have used like a Johnny Depp or a Matt Dillon.
If they were around, yeah, Matt Dillon was. Maybe
He
Depp
was
would
a hot
have-
ticket back then.
He was.
Yeah, but
Exactly,
Nah.
Steve. Steve is correct.
He
Karate
was-
Kid was the biggest thing.
I understand that.
You know, and then of course they wanted him to be in another movie. I thought this was a good vehicle for his kind of acting.
I didn't think so.
No?
I thought the
Wow.
story was good. I thought it was a good story.
Yeah,
I thought
it's a
that
classic tale.
something about him brings it down to it makes it more PG. It makes it
Oh.
less adult. It makes it more
He's too good for this, or he's
well. And he looks
too
like he's
good of a
12.
guy.
Is it just me? Like
Oh, he
this,
always
the guy-
has.
Looks very young.
He
Steve,
looks very young.
I gotta
yeah.
know, Steve. What did you think of this movie in a nutshell? Let's get our impressions off top. You didn't like it. Looks like.
Well, no, I like-
in a nutshell.
Yeah,
Hey, I'm in a nutshell.
yeah. Put yourself in a nutshell.
I liked it.
Yeah,
I liked it. It was much more what's a good word for it? A body than I expected.
A
You know-
body.
Okay, for example, if you don't play the harp where I come from, you don't get pussy.
Yeah.
it was pretty edgy. I thought it was.
There was
adult.
some
Adult?
total adult
yeah. And in retrospect, watching this movie again, I've probably seen this movie like 5-6 times. It's a lot more edgy than I recall as a kid. I probably all those things flew over my head back then. Because let's face it, we were like teenagers, right? What are you? Not even teenagers. We're like 12, 10, and what? I
Well,
don't
14 when it came out for
know.
you and me.
14, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, right. So I was blown away by this movie when I was a kid, and it still holds up for me because I got a sweet, soft spot for it.
Mhm.
Maybe I'm not objective about it, John, Steve. I'm in. It's a guitar movie.
Yeah.
And I was so hyped about that back then, and I still kind of am because you don't see these movies.
You don't see very many guitar movies.
Well,
No, you don't.
I'll be the first to say, like, if I had seen this back in the day, I know I would have loved it, and then I would be biased because I have the nostalgia with it, which I already
Which I
know.
do, right?
You know, but I hadn't seen it, and so I'm watching it from today's perspective, and I'm looking at it, and I can't, I just couldn't help but
pick it apart.
well, I
John,
love.
preach.
Listen, I love the
distancing.
blues guy.
Yes.
I loved
Social distance drinking.
Willie Brown. I thought his character. I thought he played it
Oh,
good.
wasn't he good?
He was really good. He
Oh.
was really good. This is what I meant. I felt like there was actually a really good cast around him. No,
How did you like the girlfriend?
She was so too. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel her acting. This is just what's her name again? She was in Less Than
Francis.
Zero. And,
Yeah, you've seen her in other things.
Jamie
Gertz.
That's it.
Yeah. I liked her.
I like her. I don't want to be too critical of her, but there's other movies where I felt like her acting has left something to be desired.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I felt in Less Than Zero than some of her lines are like. That's a movie I watched a lot, and I felt like she was the weak
part
link
of the movie.
of the movie.
Sure,
Yeah.
fair enough.
But I just think I think he made it too kiddish. Whereas I think
he was too soft.
he was too soft.
Like
he was
he-
too
yeah.
wimpy. He was too kid. It was too teenage-ish.
Yeah, I hear
whereas-
what you're saying. I think he was such a hot star at the time. You know, this was just something they they wanted to roll the dice on or give him the shot.
Yeah.
And to his credit, now I'm very a stickler for movies that are portraying musicians on screen, and we've reviewed a few movies in the past,
Yeah.
like Whiplash, where the actor did an awesome job of being a drummer in a jazz band. And then we did Stars Born, where Bradley Cooper was a guitar player, singer.
Yeah.
And now we got this guy trying to be a blues player. How did you think? I thought he did a pretty good job of pretending to play as a guitar player.
Absolutely.
Not bad, because he can.
Yeah.
I think he did his homework.
Yeah, and
For
I think
sure,
he
yeah.
was
Yeah.
trained up enough to do the scenes. There's
Yeah.
a lot of stuff, but when it comes to the end of the movie where they have this big battle at the end for the souls of these guys, and it was cool. I really enjoyed that. It was like 15 minutes long, and I watched that clip. It's on YouTube. If you want to be a cheap bastard, go watch it on YouTube. You can just watch the battle of
what's his name?
sorry, Ralph. Well, Eugene is against Steve Vai is the actor, but he's Butch, I think, or what's his name here? Sorry. Jack Butler, not Butch. Steve Vai, who is actually a wicked guitar
guitarist,
player in real life, he portrays like the devil's minion hired gun, and they have this face-off, and it's to me, it's epic. And as a kid in the theater, that was so epic. And it was like this clash between the old school guitar player, blues, old school against the new kid on the block, heavy metal rock guitar player, right? With all the tools and the bells and whistles. I love that whole end scene.
It was a pretty good end scene.
Okay, see, that's funny because that was the next thing I was going to talk about with this movie. Is that end scene. I thought it was hokey.
I
thought it was totally hokey.
Give it a break. It was the 80s. They did the zip and zap of the 90s and 2000s and the 2000s.
Yeah.
Explain. Wow. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, no. I just thought it was hokey. I thought the fact there's a bunch of people sitting around like, what is this? It was like it really took a turn for like the weird. Something at the Crossroads, which I kind of like. The devil comes out and there's the deal, and I kind of like that stuff. But then this whole arena of people sitting around to watch these two egomaniacs go at it and show who's the best, and souls are on the line for a guitar solos and stuff. It was a little hokey.
It's based in the mythology of the Crossroads from the Deep South of a guitar player, Robert Johnson, selling his soul to the devil to have success.
Yeah.
And this is a take on it, right?
Right. And there is a myth about that. I mean, that's
a thing.
It is a thing that Robert Johnson sold.
I love that. So as a guitar fan, I'm a music movie fan, I like all this.
Fair enough.
Right? I'm willing to just have fun with it and just enjoy it. But I hear you. Yeah. It's an 80s movie. Yeah. There's a lot of hokey shit in the 80s. So,
but I could have done I really thought there was a lot of good stuff in this movie though. I really thought there was lots of good stuff. I loved the music. I loved the whole the story is amazing. I love it.
You think?
Breaking the old man, a blues legend that's now been reduced to an old nurse, and the blues legend's going to teach the young kid. It reminded me of kind of like The Color of Money with Paul Newman teaching Tom Cruise the circuit, right?
Yeah.
The same kind of feel. Like the old man's going to take him out and show him what real blues is about. I'm going to make you into a blues man. I love that. And going down to Mississippi, and we're going to, that stuff I loved. Yeah. I loved that whole thing, right? And I thought Willie Brown played his part amazing. I thought, and the music was awesome. So there's lots to love about this movie. Like I said, there were some shortcomings. I liked the movie so much that I would like to see it
As a kid.
As a kid, done better.
Oh.
I would like to see it done better with somebody. I thought I could have seen it.
I could see that.
I could see it being actually something that stood up to this day, where I don't think it stands up to this day. I feel like Ralph Macchio was a kind of a trend, like the Ringwald trend or something, where people got caught up in a phase and stuff, but really he doesn't stand the test of time. He's not really one of those people that people are going to look back kindly on history on him as an actor.
Then if he would have kept being like a Tom Hanks or whatever that came out of the 80s, he would have kept going, but he kind of just fizzled out after the Karate Kid thing died off.
But it's just the work alone in this I felt didn't stand out. I felt like I can't get past him. I'm sorry. That's just my take on it.
I'm okay with him. I liked him. I liked the Karate Kid movies.
He wasn't gritty enough. Matt Dillon, for example, much more gritty kind of guy. And I could see him being...
I could see Johnny Depp. If Johnny Depp would have been a newcomer at that time period.
Yeah.
But that would have been... That's interesting take, Coulda, woulda, who knows? Steve, thoughts? Maybe it's quiet.
You guys are really getting into it.
I know.
I love it.
I like it, but I like it.
I liked it. I think you're right. I think Ralph could have been a bit more powerful. He could have turned it up a little bit. Ralph, you could have turned it up a little bit.
Yeah.
He's like 50 something now, pushing 60. Man. It's crazy.
It's
this
crazy.
movie's like
We're all getting
40
old.
years old. 35 years old.
Did we want to talk about racism at all?
Well,
sure. We're good. We're sensitive, I think.
Okay.
What's your take on that? Yeah, let's hear it.
We're sensitive and ignorant.
Okay.
So he's in Juilliard.
Yeah.
And he's going through a Mozart piece. I think it's Mozart. And he starts riffing. I mean, he goes into blues. And the teacher says, excellence in primitive music is a hereditary thing, and you need to be born to it.
Oh, man, I missed this.
You just...
I probably... Yeah, go ahead.
I know exactly what you're talking about, yeah.
So he calls it primitive music, but then he also said you need to be born to it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's a compliment. Is being born to it a compliment?
Well, I don't know, because it's interesting, because you almost got the same message from Willie Brown.
Yeah.
Is that where were you born? New York. Oh my God!
Long Island.
Long Island. Yeah. You don't stand a chance.
Thing?
It's like you need to be born into. It's something like culture. Oh. It's cultural music.
Yeah.
You're either born with it or it's not something you learn. And so, I don't know. You could say that.
So it's a deep South music. It's like if you ain't from the South, you ain't.
I kind of get the feeling that the teacher was using it some racist kind of.
Oh yeah.
Sure, but I mean, when they go downtown, when they get down south, there's a road and there's a bar on the left side and a bar on the right side, and all the white people go there and all the black people go there.
Yeah.
And now they don't show any signs outside, but I mean, it's
known.
It's just known.
You know.
Honestly, though, sorry, that of the two bars, the black bar looks. I would feel safer in the black bar. That white bar looked awful, man. That looked like dangerous as hell, man. Like
everyone's armed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Bunch of privileged redneck. Fuck that, man.
But I think it's pretty well known that black people in America, and I guess North America, created the blues, and which is like the heart of rock and roll. Mm-hmm. And I love this quote. I'll say this quote. I believe it roughly goes, jazz and the blues had a baby, and they called it rock and roll.
Yep.
You've heard that one before?
I have. That's a lyric from a Muddy's Water song.
Yeah. So this movie is like Deep South. It's black music because, I guess at the time they segregated, like separated, and they had white bars and you had your black bars, and Hell's Bells music came out of that situation. And then... we owe it debt. I think if we're gonna talk, yes, there's racist things in this movie. I'm sure it's a 40-year-old movie.
I think if that end battle, if he had been battling a black guitarist,
interesting,
it would never have stood the test of time. I mean, there's no way people would be cool with it.
Yeah, it wouldn't have aged
well. So then why not have Ralph was picked because he was the hot star at the moment, but it could have been casted as a black guy.
It could have easily.
Could have been an Asian guy.
And wasn't the whole audience there on this whole battle all black?
The devil was black for sure.
Yeah.
And his assistant
but
was
the
black.
devil can take any guys, right? He goes
Yes,
wherever
true.
he needs to go.
I love that guy. He had a big smile on his
I mean,
face.
it wasn't all that stuff just great. Like, it had a feel and a vibe to it. Like, when they said, oh, where we're going, we don't need cars or something, like at the Crossroads.
I like the stuff at the Crossroads.
Stuff like that.
I liked everything. Like I said, the devil guy was a great they cast him perfectly.
Like, it even, like, did it, like, they rolled up in a Trans Am instead of, like, an old ancient car of the time. Yeah. Stuff like that, details, and, like,
that was cool.
What if they played it? What if they played it straight? Like, you were left at the end of the movie wondering whether he actually sold his soul to the devil.
Oh, not a happy ending.
Well, no. I'm like it plays out exactly as it does, except no magic.
Oh. Then it was all like he was all in his head, or
it could be all in his head, or it could be real.
I kind of like that it's real, and
you like that
it's like only people that know, and you'll tell this to somebody else, and they think you're crazy, but it happened. Okay. I kind of like that.
Well, and it was kind of cool. I kind of liked the way the movie did. Like, I thought they did it well, as far as no one really knows exactly where these crossroads are. They won't show up on a map. Yeah. But it's kind of like, you go past this place and that.
Yeah.
And like, I know where.
But he shows up,
about,
right?
Yeah.
He just shows up.
It's kind of like,
because he said to Eugene, start playing, man. Just start playing. Yeah. And he didn't believe any of this. It's all bull. Yeah. He starts playing some blues, and it just like that. He rolls up out of nowhere. These cars roll up, right?
Yeah.
I like that kind of thing.
It was cool. Yeah. It was really cool.
Yeah. But I think you're going to find, as we watch movies as they age, there's going to be a lot of things that just don't stand up for whatever reason.
Don't stand up.
And it's just because they're old, right?
The girl at the end of the movie is gone. She's gone. She
you kind of figured they would reunite somehow, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did too.
But I like that they made that choice. They're like, no, she's on her own adventure, and that's it.
Yeah, it kind of makes streamlines the story. It's like, all right, let's get down to business. No more love story.
Yeah. It makes you feel like these people have lives outside of what you see.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that whole love thing was ugly because it kind of looked like the babysitter. Like, he looks so young compared to her. It looked like he was being molested by her or something. She's half her size.
We should laugh about that, but
I mean,
did you really think he looked that young? He was not.
I don't know.
Maybe he needed some
really
facial hair.
He
he needed like some fake facial hair to like bring him in a couple of years older.
Like, she makes a comment that he looks really young too.
If Travolta would have been the guy, we got to bought it. He looked like he was 30 when he was 18. So, true story. Anyways,
the devil's called Scratch. Have you heard of that? Have you ever heard of the devil called
Scratch? Boy, the devil's got so many names. I just one this last week. I can't remember.
Okay. Yeah. It was Legba at the beginning of the movie. Legba is the devil's name, and then at the end of the movie, it's Scratch. And then, of course, the other guy is just the assistant to Scratch.
Yeah. Well,
anyway, it's funny. I've never heard of Legba or Scratch
as the devil's. Yeah, I don't know. There's so many. Like, everybody has their interpretation of the devil, right? So different names.
Let's talk about the music for a second. Okay, first of all, Ralph Macchio, you guys are saying he did not play the stuff.
No, it looked like he did enough to fake it, right?
There were some ones where he was doing pretty damn close. Like,
and then there's times where you can tell for a guy that knows how to play guitar and where it was off, but he was in time. He kind of like just hit the spots. Like he was in time with the music enough. Uh-huh. So I think people would think, it's cool. And there's debate online. I looked it up too to see who did what kind of thing. And there's a composition of Steve Vai actually doing parts at the end, solos. Throughout the movie, it's Ry Cooder. Ry Cooder does the soundtrack, which is awesome. So he does the bulk of the things, and then they have somebody else fill in the blanks. It's kind of like that. It's a composited.
Okay, and you notice that in this epic battle at the end there, he has the slide on for the longest time, and really he did nothing impressive with the slide, I felt, in the battle. Like, it was kind of just mediocre. And Steve Vai's there just going to town, outdoing him on every single time. Yeah. And he just keeps going back to some basic slide stuff that was really unimpressive, right?
Yeah, but he was matching him kind of like note for note. But yeah, the more impressive guy comes on with the guitar and using the whammy bar, which was so cool in my mind back then.
Like it wasn't even the same league there. Right?
He not only just because Ralphie there, Karate Kid, he kind of stood there and didn't give much movement. But the other guy was working it, baby, working it.
He had more stage presence.
But in real life, come on, Steve Vai would whip his ass.
So then he takes off the slide and then he reverts to classical, right?
Yes.
And that's where he kicks ass.
That echoes back to what he
knew, right?
Yeah.
So what's the message in there? That he's actually not a blues player and that he's a classical player?
That classical music everything's born for. I don't know.
It's in his blood, like classical music's in his blood, not blues.
I looked it up. I
think the message is maybe music belongs to all of us the same way math does.
Oh, that's true.
But maybe it's me. Maybe that's ignorance of me. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I think classical music is impressive.
Steve, whatever it is.
I think what happens with classical music when you play it on a guitar, it's impressive. Right? You hear that. You do it. That's always impressive. But anyways,
should we get into this trivia?
Yeah, man.
Let's do it. Now, the two that you would normally read seem a little unfair. They're really short compared to the two I usually read.
Who gets the
you want me to take the big doozy?
Yes, please.
Oh, okay. I should have brought my glasses, but here we go.
I'll do it. You want it? I'll do it.
You want to do it?
You want to do it?
You want to do it?
You can do it. I believe in you.
All right, go.
I'll do it. My eyes are pretty good still.
All right.
They're not that good, but anyways.
I shot at you.
Steve, John, I dig the trivia. The trivia is pretty good in this.
Okay.
All right. As the film opens, Robert Johnson is seen playing and singing with a high-pitched soprano voice. Allegedly, he actually had a deeper voice in real life. When his recordings were made, the speed of the master was slowed down because Johnson's songs were so long they would not fit on the recorder. That's very interesting. So slowing the device down would collect more but raise the pitch when played back. That's why all of his original 78 RPM records play back at a higher pitch than what he actually sang. Modern digital technique allows the recordings to be played back at the true and correct pitch with the speed slowed down, which drops his vocal range back to his real one and the authentic speed value. Steve, John, that's fascinating.
Amazing.
To me. That's fascinating.
That is very fascinating.
All the people that listened to him on record thought his voice was like, hi, something like that. Right. When really it was, hey, this is the Crossroads, something like that.
So they go to see him in concert like what the fuck, man? He must have a cold or he must not be feeling well or something, right?
Yeah. I find that really interesting.
It is interesting. And not only that is that in this day and age, when we know there's standardized tuning, which I assume there was back then because they had pianos and all that. There
had to be like a rule.
There was back in the day. They had tuning forks or whatever that they put stuff. So, okay. So what you could do is as long as you brought it down, you slowed the music down to the point where it's in tune with standard tuning, then you know you're at the real time.
That's what they probably did to get it back into the present day.
Because then you know it's dead on, right?
But I understand why they had to do what they did, because he was doing a blues song.
Yeah, and they only had so much time to fit it in.
And then, okay, dude, well, sorry, we're going to have to spice you up by 10, speed up by 10.
Quit riffing there, buddy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Keith Richards was originally considered for the role of Jack Butler. Dum dum dum.
Oh, that was...
For those that didn't know who's Keith Richards,
Rolling Stones guitarist,
which is referenced in the movie.
Yeah,
Rolling Stones is referenced in the movie. So maybe did they add that line because they didn't get Keith, or maybe they didn't change it because they didn't get Keith? Or
that would have been an interesting choice. At that time, Keith Richards would have been younger looking.
Yeah, not so creepy.
Not so his foot in the grave. I don't know. He would have been in his 40s or 30s.
Yeah.
Maybe it would have worked. And I know that the Rolling Stones are very much openly give credit to black musicians that brought the blues.
Yes.
They have so much respect because they're British. They see the American music as the beginning of rock and roll.
Oh, yeah.
So it would have been a neat
and Steve, and not only that is, oh my God, Rolling Stones guitarist Keith Richards. He would look more like the Devil's Minion. just by his appearance.
You'd have on that cigarette hanging out of his mouth. He'd be like, "Yeah, maybe."
Yeah.
Well, I wonder what happened there.
From the story that I understood that Jack Butler was just another guy that sold his soul to the devil.
That's how I understood it too.
Yeah. I didn't understand.
His talent came from his selling out.
Yeah.
The devil gave him that talent.
That's an interesting point to make. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll never know. Didn't happen.
Now, we can't talk about this movie without talking about The Devil Went Down to Georgia. Okay. The song.
Sure.
Okay. You guys are familiar with the song?
Yeah. Similar theme.
Isn't this exactly? I mean, it's pretty much that.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that kind of what
this is the movie version of it?
Yeah.
Different instruments.
Yeah.
Different style of music.
Yeah.
One's country. One's
rock and roll.
Blues. Yeah, rock and roll.
And there's yeah, man. There's even more than one song about that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
We got Krista Berg and.
This is folklore, right? This is folklore. I guess this is the mythology of.
Yeah.
Hey, who gets next?
I'll take the long one. So
okay. All right, I'll take the two middle ones. The real Willie Brown was a guitarist player, not a harmonica player. So the real Willie Brown didn't get any pussy.
What?
Because you have to be a harp player to get pussy.
You have to be a harp player.
Poor Willie Brown.
Steve, why'd you have to go there, Steve?
That was a good one. I liked it. That was clever. The Fender Telecaster Ralph Macchio carries along his hobo trek in the second half of the film is a 1970 CBS Fender with the block lettering on the headstock. They were affordable and easy to acquire in the 1980s, and their heavy polyurethane finish made them near impervious to the travails of the road. Macchio and Joe Seneca are walking through the rain, sleeping in barns, abandoned shacks, and the outdoors. If a CBS Telecaster covered with snow was plugged in, it would play perfect.
Oh, I love that.
That is quite the story.
That's the kind of quality trivia I like.
Yeah, and I think Fender might have written that one.
Sure. I wonder how many guitars they sold. Because, it's true in the movie you watch him, he's always got the guitar not in a guitar case. He's just slung around his back. And most guys would not do that.
If there's one thing I miss probably the most about the 80s is how fucking cheap you could get good Fenders then.
Yeah.
You could go back, I remember going in along in McQuaid and there was a Fender Strat and a good one, a nice one for, $500-$600,
Yeah.
You think you'd get a Fender Strat for $500-$600 today? It's like retarded. And I'm talking like the best ones,
I have a story to tell. We're talking back in the 80s again here, late 80s. They tried to sell this pinkish looking Fender Telecaster, I think it was. And nobody would buy it, and it kept the price. I think kept dropping until it was like a steal. And now that I think of it, I would love to pick that thing up.
Oh yeah,
I was a kid, but I didn't have the money.
And that's probably the rare one that nobody has. It's probably worth a fortune now.
A pink guitar back in the day, and who knows? Whatever. I mean, I would have took it. Sure.
Oh, back in those days, I would call you a Nancy boy.
Sure. Now,
God, people
whatever.
were so stupid back then.
I know.
God, they would tell all these pussy jokes. Anyway, now they go into a pawn shop, and they have a watch and an old guitar.
Yes.
And they trade this watch and an old guitar for the Fender.
Yeah.
The amp.
Yeah.
A slide bar. And a gun.
Yeah, I think they did pretty good.
He did pretty good. Yeah,
that's what you need, I guess.
Willie Brown, though, he worked his magic on that pawn shop.
He did. He did. Yeah, you could tell that he was working him.
Yeah.
Let's go over here. Let's talk.
I loved it was part road movie, right? It's a road movie.
Yeah.
It's like traveling around.
It was cool.
To go get to this place from New York City, right? That was where they started out. So.
I want to see a remake of this movie. I know. I want to see this done right.
So
it's a good story. I want to see it done better.
Here's the sad thing. The thing is, who's our guitar hero of the day that would star in a movie like this?
Oh, yeah. Nobody cares about guitar heroes
Nobody
anymore.
cares about freaking rock and roll guitar blues movies. They probably have turntable guys doing like turntable duels or some shit.
But I don't know. The Dirt came out.
What do I know
The Dirt came out. That's
music today.
That movie did pretty good, did it not?
The Dirt? I don't know. That was just a biopic movie, right? So you're talking about taking this movie and transporting it 30 odd years in the future, and or do you do it back in the 80s?
I think Jack Butler. You were talking about Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
I think Johnny Depp would be a good Jack Butler
now.
Currently.
Yeah. Oh, why not?
Sure.
He'd probably be game.
Yeah.
He needs the money. I think he's going through a bad court case right now or something, Johnny.
Oh,
good luck to you, Johnny.
You never know with that kind of stuff.
I don't know what's going on. You might be a pirate for the rest of your life because you might need to be to make the money after you.
Whatever.
We're off topic.
Yeah, we don't even know.
The thing about Ralph Macchio, but I want to say one more thing.
Don't pick on the kid.
Okay, no, I'm okay.
He's
I just want to say
is that he's an adult.
In 1986, you get to put his name plastered on a movie.
He was a star,
and it's going to sell the movie.
Yes,
right? Because he's that kind of star, right?
Yeah.
And he didn't.
And I think that's what happened. He agreed to do the movie, and they're like, "We got him. We got him. Put his name on there.
Well, that's how it gets done,
right?"
Man.
And but that sometimes is a mistake, and I think that was the mistake that was made here. Because of that, they thought, "Well, we'll sell."
So you weren't happy with Ralph being the guy?
I was not,
and that's cool.
I was not happy.
Yeah,
I made that clear though. So
he made that clear. Yeah.
I didn't mind.
Anyway, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes.
Primarily Critical. Next week, Monday at noon, we're covering Honey Boy.
Honey Boy.
John, you picked this movie. Without any spoilers, please tell us why you picked it.
Well, I watched the trailer, and Shia LaBeouf.
Yep.
I thought, wow, what a change! Like I've never seen him in this kind of role, right?
Right.
And to hear that it's semi-autobiographical.
Right.
Is that autobiographical? Oh my God! You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
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 I thought this has got to be something good in here. So.
Well, I can't wait to talk about it. I can't wait for you to join us. Take care. Check out our stuff. Peace.
Bye-bye.